Okay, today we are going to recap what Ntanta has done for us. We are going to introduce chess. We would do it, or I would do it as I would do it with children, right? With anecdotes of stories that relates to the subjects that they do at school. In front of me here, you see a board, a chess board. It is a square. We have 8 blocks vertical and 8 blocks horizontal. And 8 times 8 is 64. So one may as well ask the children whether they know what 8 times 8 is. In a way, you can go into mathematics and counting, right? And if you look at the board, horizontally, you will see that there is A, B, C, D to H. And if you look at the board vertically, it's 1 to 8. And the board alternates with one square with another color. So you can never have 2 squares having the same color. You have white, black, white, black. The sequence continues as it is. Now, there is an important thing that one has to learn. That is to place the board correctly. When you have placed the board correctly, you will realize that the white square, this one, should be on your right hand when I'm facing the board, my right hand. So this square has always to be white. If it's black, then the board is placed wrongly. The same thing on the other side. The other player will have the white square on his right hand. Once a chessboard is explained, one can then talk about what is the purpose of playing chess. What happens when we play chess? Normally, there are 2 nations who have a king, and they fight in order to protect their king. And the major, very major objective of the game is to make your opponent's king, you render it useless. You render it, it is not able to go anywhere. Normally I tell the children that you trap the king such that it has nowhere to go by checking it. Right, we are going to then talk about how many pieces, or let's go to the board. The board is divided into 2 blocks. If you cut it in half, you will have the same amount of squares on the upper level and the same amount of squares on the lower level. And we play chess as opponents, 2 people playing. One will play black and the other will play white. Normally, white will start playing. I tell the children that they must get used to tossing before. They have to toss in order to determine who will play first, who will play white. So normally, you get the children doing this, and you show your opponent. You choose. When you choose the one on my right, it would be black. It means the one who chose black takes black, and the other one will play white. Is that okay? Right. Now you have 16 figures for one nation. The white nation would have 16 figures with their king. It's like the king is surrounded by priests, as it normally does. It's surrounded by knights in a king's court. And all of them work together as a team in order to protect their king from being rendered useless, right? Now, these figures, 16, you have 16 white and 16 black. Of course, when we are here, because we are adults, it is easier to go through all the pieces, say, in an hour, and adults mostly would catch up very easy. But when you are dealing with children, you have to start with one piece and then do a lot of exercises with that piece. Supposing you start with the rook as we started. We start with the rook as we started here. You have to do a lot of exercises with the rook. Detlef was saying he then tells the children to become the rook, and he was doing, when they move, they then move straight like this, or straight like that, or coming back again and going left. So some of these exercises, when you do it with them, sticks more in children's mind than when you instruct them. So the whole idea is not to instruct them, it is to allow them to learn with you rather than you pouring information on their heads, because you will never discover whether they're understanding what you are saying or not. So practice, practice, practice with the children until you are satisfied that they understand a piece before you can move to the next piece.